Okay, let's talk about where you put your projects. For example, I recycle everything. This is a plastic container from I believe it's a brand of ham. And I buy ham a lot. So I have a lot of these and I've always recycled them because they're clear and you can see what's inside. And usually I use them for I put them for my daughter's toys and beads and stuff like that, because she used to do like necklace with beads, or she does the loom knitting with the rubber bands, you know, the little bracelets that they do with rubber bands. So I organize her crafts like that, or her little pet shop. I put them in here, and that way she knows what she has, and you know, she brings them and she pops them and she'll keep them in there when she's good. Usually she ends up, you know, mixing everything and I have to reorganize it, but it's a good way to try to teach her to be organized, you know, whether she takes on it or not. But this, for example, this is one of my projects. I always have several projects going on because I get bored easily, so I do it. This is gonna be an applique that I'm gonna do on a headband, and I'm gonna show a picture of a headband that I did with the little doggy applique. And I'm gonna edit the tutorial and put it on there. That's gonna be my second video. But this one's gonna be a Monster High or look-alike applique, and I got it from this Portuguese girl that does crocheting, and she posts her videos on YouTube, and I will put a link to her video. I cannot pronounce her first name, but her last name is Ferreira, and you know, and she is great. Like I said, I'm Mexican, I speak Spanish, and Portuguese is similar to Spanish, so all I had to do was very tediously listen and looked at what she was doing to get the pattern, you know, because I know somebody else sells this pattern, and I don't remember who at this moment, but they sell the pattern, and to be honest, I did not want to pay for it because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it or not. And when I went back and I was looking, I think, for the dog pattern for the applique, when I went across this one, so I was like, hey, super great, let me try to translate. But the only difference is that the embellishments that she has, I'm gonna do them differently. I really didn't like the way she did the eyes or the nose or the bow, so I'm gonna make my own. This is my bow that I made. It's a kiwi bow. It looks kind of like the Hello Kitty bow, and I really liked it. I don't know how I came up with the idea, but I've never seen them before. I don't know if they're out there or not. If somebody else has a pattern for it, let me know if you know, so I can give them credit for their pattern. But yeah, like I did this bow and I created these ridges that gives it like a five-dimensional look, and it's like super nice. It looks really nice. I think I'm gonna make some of these just for her to wear on her hair by itself, and to do in certain patterns. We're redecorating her room, and my husband's doing murals on her walls with Monster High dolls and things like that. So I think that from this little pattern of applique, I'm gonna make a pillow cover. I'm gonna try to make a rug. I'm gonna try to incorporate it in different things of her room. Like I'm trying to see if I can do a bedspread for her, because I've seen one for Monster High at Walmart, but only the bedspread itself is $40, $40 to $45, plus the sheets, plus the accent pillows and things like that. It's gonna be like $150 for the whole bed, decorum or whatever, and that is craziness. I don't know if she's gonna want that for next month or how long she's gonna stick to it, so I don't want to spend that kind of cash. So I'm gonna end up doing something like this, and I think it's gonna give it a nice look. So this is the silhouette of the skeleton face, so I'm gonna use this pattern to do several things, and I will do tutorials on the things that I make for her, and I will show her room once it's finished. And yeah, the bow that I made, and you can use them for the Hello Kitty hats too. I think that these are more like what they wear, not like the ones that other people have made that I've seen. They're very one-dimensional, and you know, and they don't, or the ones that they made, they don't have the black on them, and I think the black around the border, and you know, it makes the bow, it makes it look more cartoony, and it makes it look bright. I like it. And again, you know, this ridge is what makes it, because from the back it looks flat, but from the side, you see, and then when you turn it and you see it from the side view, you see the little loops. It's very like, wherever you see it from, it looks different. It looks really neat. I really like it. So it's gonna go over here, and then I'm gonna do the face and whatever. But yeah, I usually keep my patterns like that, my small patterns in little containers like that, so I can see. I use manicure scissors for to cut my yarn, because I can put a pin on here, or a, what you would call it, a safety pin, and I usually pin it to my clothing, or I put it close by so I can use them. I tried using the big scissors or some other types of scissors, and they're just very clumsy, and yeah, I just like these small ones. I don't think I think they're very perfect for what I do, and they're very light, so I can keep everything together in a bag. So because I was working on this today, I have them here, and I have my crochet hook here as well, and I keep everything together, because sometimes I'll cook and I'll put everything like that, and I go and I do whatever I have to do, and I keep several little patterns like that. This is another project that I'm doing, also bows, and I have all the embellishments that I'm gonna use, and the threads in here, and this is also recycled from Little Caesars. So I recycle all these little things, because organization items, they cost a lot. Even if you go to the 99-cent store, this will cost you $1. I mean, and you get it for free. So I mean, why are you gonna waste on that? You know, just use it. And you can actually, they sell these little rolls of tape. They have Velcro on them, and you can actually stack them together. For example, this box, this is my sewing kit. I also do some sort of sewing, sometimes like quilts and stuff like that, or regular sewing, and this is my sewing kit that I keep in my room in case a button falls or things like that. So this is all 99-cent stuff, okay? The box was from the 99-cent store, and it's clear from both sides, and it has separators, and this is something that I added, okay, this was 99 cents, this was 99 cents, and I think I got this one from my husband, because he had bought one that had like bolts and things like that for the picture hangings, and he didn't need this anymore, so I've used it. And in here I keep all my machine bobbins, and my safety pins, and the buttons, extra buttons, and you know, the little secure thingies for clothing, and then these little clasps that I love to use. You know, when I lose a button, or I need some, you know, some extra holding, instead of putting tape or anything like that, I'll just do this. I'll just do it, and that's it. I'll get over it with it. But yeah, you see, and these are the Velcro things that I was talking about. These they also sell at the 99-cent store, and they're very secure. I had this kit for almost 4 years, and they haven't come off, and they haven't, you know, once they're on, they don't come off. And what I do is I put it like that, or I take it off, and that's it. It keeps there very neatly, and it doesn't pop off. Even if I do this, it's not gonna pop off. And this is like my threads and my thermal tapes that I use for some hems, you know, a little bit of elastic, you know, a pen. I have some scissors here. I don't know where they're at. Probably my husband grabbed them, but you know, my threader, and this is for the patterns. And then I keep my sewing machine needles in here, and then I keep my tape here, my measuring tape for clothing. And these little items I just picked up at Michael's. They're having this big sale. Everything's 50% off. So I got this little silicone finger gloves, and the reason why is because I got this big burn yesterday when I was finishing the headband, the doggy headband. I was in a rush, and I didn't pay attention, and I got burned with the glue, and it hurt a lot. So when I saw these, I picked them up, and I can use them for a lot of different things. I lost my little finger covering, so when I do my needlework, so these are also very sturdy, so I can use it with the needle as a thumb, I don't know what's it called, thimble, or I don't know, thimble, as a thimble, and it doesn't go through, the needle doesn't go through, so they're dual purposes for these. So I think I'm gonna use them for several things, and I think it was a good investment. They were about $2 with the 50% off, but I think it was worth the investment, you know, because it really burns. So yeah, so this is another way to organize your items. And I also have another box like this, and I use that box for my flosses, for my needlework that I do, my embroidery. So I use this other box. It's the same type of box that I use, and I have all my flosses in here. And this one I can take off the lid, and I always do that. I take off the lid and I do it like this, and I put it on a tray, and I'm like watching TV and I'm embroidering. And this is all my stuff. I have my embroidery sets of needles here. There's different sizes and different things, and I have my flosses, and you know, I keep my little manicure scissors with me, you know, because I already had them, so I didn't really need to purchase them. I wasn't using them for the purpose that they were made for. They were just running around, so I didn't want to buy scissors, and then they work really well, so I just used them. But yeah, this is another way to organize it. And I have I organize my daughter's headbands like these, you know, these little headbands. I have another one where I have everything organized by color, and then I have bobby pins and pins and stuff, and then I have another one that have those little character headbands that they have the little characters. I keep it like that too, so they don't get messed up, because they get pricey. So you want to always save your keep your investments you know, nice and clean and put away properly, so they can last you for a long time. Just because, you know, sometimes you get things that are inexpensive, or you get them at a really good deal, it doesn't mean that you don't take care of them. You know, once you take care of them and you keep them for a very long time. And I need to buy another one actually, because I still have these new flosses that I've got that I'm gonna try, because they're a little bit thicker. They're thicker than what I usually use, but it's because I bought this crazy new needle, and I'm gonna post a picture of the tea towel that I gave my mother-in-law to show off that I learned how to crochet, because she used to get so frustrated with me when she was trying to teach me, and when I gave it to her, oh my god, it was worth it. All the time that I spent on the towel was worth it, because she was, you know, she was very proud of me, and I really like that. So yeah, these are a bit thicker, but it's because I'm gonna show you the kind of needle I'm gonna use them with, and I'm gonna try to do a tutorial on that one too. There's a lot of them out there, but usually they're in Spanish, because the Mexican ladies are the ones that are doing that whole crazy, you know, tea napkins, embroideries and stuff. And I keep it on this pencil box that is metal, because I want to protect it. It was a little bit pricey, you know, and I think it was about $10 or something. So I really want to make sure that I protect my $10 investment, and that I have it for a very long time. And this is the needle. It's called a magic needle. And I've seen other needles at Michael's or at Joann's. They're supposed to do the same thing as this. I don't know what it's called. And I purchased one, and for the life of me, I could not get to have it work properly, so I returned it. And when one of my was it my neighbor, or was it my mother's-in-law's neighbor, I don't know, I'm sure, she told me about this supposedly magic needle, and that it did really nice work. And I was kind of curious, and I had heard about it, but I've never really seen them. So so I kind of like told her that if she can buy me one and stuff and teach me how to use it, and she said yes, but she never did. So when I went to the swap meet, I saw this lady that was selling them, and she was selling all the materials to make the tea napkins, and she told me that that was the needle that they were talking about. And and she told me what it was called, and she tried to teach me just the basic of it. It's like you just punch it in and you take it out and it leaves a stitch. From one side it looks very flat, but from the other side when you turn it, it has texture. It's very nice, and it has the different depths. So depending on what project you're working on, you can get a longer strand or a shorter strand, or you can do a lot of crazy things with it. But yeah, this is the magic needle, and I love it, and I use it with those kinds of yarns. And that's what it came with. It came with the needle, and it came with the thing that helps you pull the yarn through and stuff. But this one I had to customize. I had to rip some of the wires off because it was too thick. So yeah, but I keep it nice and tight and secure. So this is usually what I have with me at all times. I keep all my crochet hooks in here. I keep my embroidery stuff in here. And it's a double zipper bag, so it has 2 compartments, and it's also waterproof, and that's very important. I will tell you why. So this is the crochet side. Okay, this is my crochet side, and I have this little pencil holder that is what is this? It's a fabric, and there's a reason why it's fabric. And there's a reason why it's inside the bag, and bag from bag, but you're gonna see why it is, because I use it as also a stitch holder. I had bought these stitch holders, and I'll show them to you later on. They were very flimsy, and I paid like $2-3 for them, and I regretted it because I couldn't return them after I told them that I wasn't satisfied, but they said that the company didn't have a 100% guaranteed satisfaction, so they couldn't really do anything with it, and I had already opened the package. And those I had bought when I started loom knitting, and I really needed them because when you go on the round, you tend to forget the rows and all of that stuff, and I'll show you why right now. So these I keep these here, and I use them to hold my stitches. I've tried using the method where you put a piece of yarn, a scrap of yarn in it, but they fall off. Or I've used the stitch holders, and they tend to split the yarn because they're not smooth. So in the other ones, other stitch holders or markers that they have in the market, they may be good, but they're kind of pricey. I'm not gonna spend $4 on a flimsy little thing where I can use just little safety pins and they work the same. I wish I could have thought of that before. But yeah, I like this because I can keep them like that. They're not falling off. They're not, running around in my bag. And all my crochet hooks are here. You see? All my crochet hooks are here. And I bought this. These are actually name brands. I don't know how to say the brand's name, but it's a BOYE brand. I'm really bad with English. I have an accent, so sometimes I can't read certain things, But these are the ones that I bought when I started doing the hats. I bought them in a set. They were pretty. I think the pricing was fair. I don't remember exactly how much I paid for it, but it was less than $6. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 hooks. So usually a hook ends up being about $2 to $3 if you buy inexpensive ones, and then when you buy them with their bamboo or their different brand, they get a little bit more pricey because of the grip and stuff. But these were fine. These work fine. The only thing I don't like about these is that they tend to lose their color. Like for example, this one's starting to lose its color on the tip, and I'm pretty sure that the more I use them, the more the color is gonna fade out, and I don't like that. I think that they should have just made them silver. And I know that they made them different colors for people to be able to recognize the sizes easier, but to me, to be honest, it's not worth it because I was working on a white, I was using white yarn with this particular crochet hook, and it stained my work, and I didn't realize it was staining my work until I finished. So you know, I couldn't do anything about it. I didn't want to unwind it or anything, so what can you do? But yeah, I'm gonna be really careful with the types of yarns that I use these with, because they are losing their color. So I'm just gonna go and show you the measurements I had. Oh, and these I bought it, believe it or not, I bought these at the 99-cent store. Okay, when I started trying to do the napkin borders, I needed a 1.65 hook, and I went to several places and they didn't, they were kind of pricey. And when in the place like Walmart, they're not that pricey, or they're more of affordable price, but they didn't have it in stock. So I remember I had stopped at the 99-cent store because I usually purchase my makeup remover wipes from there. They're really good. I love them. I'll show you the brand. I think it's from Newport. They're for sensitive skin, and those work really well with me. I usually tend to break out a lot, and yeah, I usually used to use Pond's, but they're the same thing as Pond's, and I only pay $1 for them. So I usually go and stock up on those. I like those. So I found this set, and when I saw it, I grabbed it, and I said, well, if they don't work, it's fine because they're only $1. I can use them for other things, But yeah, they work really well, and they're aluminum. They're not plastic. They're actually very sturdy. The tip is very smooth. The yarn doesn't get caught on it. So I really scored on these. The only bad thing with these is that sometimes I don't know if you can see it, but sometimes you can't really see the size. So you have to really, really look at them to know what size they are. So that's the only problem. But I got several sizes, and they work really well. I've already crocheted with them, and they were fine. I think once I try the polymer grips on them, because I want to see if I like those. A lot of people are saying, oh, polymer grips and this and that, they're super great and blah blah blah. And other people use the pencil grips, the soft pencil grips, but they have to like do this little thing where they wind yarn, or they wind like pieces of cotton and stuff, and they put the grips, and they're always struggling with the grips. I seen them. Yolanda uses them and I was like, why does she use them? And it's because after you start crocheting, like you start getting like your skin starts hurting. After a while, you get like this callus on it that protects your hand, but when you barely starting to crochet, it really hurts sometimes. It becomes very tender. So yeah, so I'm gonna try to do the polymer clay grip on them, and I'm gonna do different shapes and different sizes to see what is it that I like. And I think I'm gonna use this set, since they're aluminum. I'm gonna put them inside the oven to cure, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna be able to handle the heat. And if they don't, they were only $1. So and if I don't end up liking the grips, I can always give them away. Like I told you, I have several people in my family that crochet, and I'm pretty sure they would appreciate a new hook with a fancy grip on them, whatever. And then the other reason why this is cotton is because I keep my needles here. Let me see. I usually keep them here. You see? These are my needles. The longer one with the very pointy end. And then I keep a regular needle here. And, and this is my crochet regular needle that I use to weave in the ends. Before I used to use this, now I use my hook. It's the same thing. So now I'm starting to use less of this. I think once you start getting the hang of crochet, you find your own rhythm, and you find the techniques that work for you, and it becomes fun. Like I said, make crochet your own. Don't be too worried at the beginning about being super perfect or getting the technical terms or anything like that. I think that once I let go of all of that, it was very easy to crochet. And also the fact that I use that type of gauge, that size, because when I was being taught to crochet, this is what they gave me. They gave me this size, okay, this size, and this size. So when I was trying to crochet, you know, me, unexperienced crocheter, first of all, I didn't know what was the reason to hold the yarn, or how do they hold, and everybody had a different way of holding it. The 2 people or the 3 people, I think, that try to teach me how to crochet, they hold their yarn differently. And like I said, they said that their way was the best way, or the good way to do it. So I tried to mimic them, and it was just, I always spend more time trying to mimic them than anything. So it didn't work out for me. But yeah, they were making me crochet with this. So okay, so imagine you being inexperienced and trying to crochet with this little piece of yarn and this little thing, and not knowing how to hold, you know, hold the ends, or why you're holding the ends, or how to move up while you're holding the ends, you know, and when you're coming back to try to count the chains and stuff like that. Oh yeah, it was a mess. And I think that's another reason why I didn't learn how to crochet, because they weren't giving me the right materials. They weren't teaching me the, you know, in a way that I was able to learn, you know, and they didn't make it fun. So I really lost interest of it very easily. So yeah, but you know, again, thanks to Yolanda, I learned how to crochet, and it was one of my goals. I know it seems silly, but to me, it was one of my goals to learn how to crochet. So I keep usually all my my crochet stuff together, and I keep them in this little bag. Okay, in this little bag, and I keep it, this little bag, I keep it here. So I keep it here so there's no mess. And you see, it's nice and clean, and it's waterproof. And I usually keep this pen in there. I usually keep a pen and one of those little small notepads or sticky notes, because usually, like when I'm on the road, or I'm doing, sometimes I need help with counting the stitches when they're doing like a piece where you're doing a pattern. Sometimes I forget, and I think that's another reason why I was really bad at crocheting, because I get distracted very easily, and I lose my place. So, you know, that's why the stitch markers were very important to me, because I would, you know, put the stitch when I would start a new set, so that I can count back to know how many sets I did. Because sometimes I didn't know how to count the stitches and stuff. So, and you know, that's why it was really great to find these as stitch markers, because they're inexpensive. I also bought them at the 99-cent store, and even though they're flimsy, it's okay, because I'm not going to hold anything together. I'm just going to use them temporarily, and after that I'm going to take them and reuse them, and it's not really going to be there to hold any garments together or anything like that. And I'm not going to wear them, so that they were fine. But yeah, I got this pen from my husband, and he got it from the International Trucking Company, because he works with containers and stuff like that. But the reason why I like this pen is because this pen has a flashlight. Okay, and I am an insomniac. I usually don't sleep much. I sleep mostly during the day, and I usually can't sleep at night, and I crochet or do certain other crafts at night. So I usually use the reflection of the light of the TV, and I use this pen to do my crafts, just so that I don't disturb my husband. So yeah, if you find these are pretty practical. And also, when you're threading needles, even in the daylight, it's nice to have that little extra light to help you kind of sort through things. And also, when you're crocheting in dark items, sometimes I had a lot of problem counting the stitches. So if you put a light through it, you can see the stitches much better. I don't know if you can see it, but without it, you see, it's harder to see the stitches. But when you put a flashlight through from dark colors, you're able to see the stitches, you know, more, they're more predominant, and you can count them better. So yeah, I use that as well, whether it's whether it's daylight or night. I use the little flashlight to count my stitches, because like I told you, I'm very distracted in that way.